Hello everyone, welcome to PSIR the Unit Press channel. So Shanti Bill 2025 has been passed. It has been passed, remember this point, in the parliament. Let us see the passing procedure, what is happening in the parliament now. So I'll take you directly to the parliament now.
और एक बड़ी खबर आपको बता रहे हैं, संसद में शांति विधेयक को मंजूरी मिली है। लोकसभा के बाद राज्यसभा में भी विधेयक पास हो गया है। शांति विधेयक राज्यसभा में भी पास हुआ ध्वनि मत के साथ। और
Now, that was not the only slugfest that we saw in Parliament today. There was another major landmark bill that was passed by Parliament, this time in the Rajya Sabha too. The Sustainable Harness Position is
of Nuclear Energy for Transforming India Bill 2025 or the Shanti Bill, replacing the Atomic Energy Act of 1962 and the Civil Liability of Nuclear Damage Act passed by the UPA in 2010. The bill enables
Right. So you have seen that in the Lok Sabha, the Shanti Bill has been passed. So I would like to take you some of the important areas of that was given importance with regard to this Shanti Bill. Okay, the Shanti Bill here is related to what nuclear energy. It's not like a peace in a society, something like that. Shanti Bill is related to what nuclear energy. Why we say Shanti Bill means basically India uses the nuclear harnessing for the civilian purpose. Okay, we just want to generate energy, nothing but we just want to generate electricity from the nuclear technology, nothing more than that. Why? Because nuclear technology is a dual use technology. Dual use technology is nothing but it can be used for the civilian purpose in the form of what? Production of electricity, and can also be used for the military purpose in the form of what? Making an atomic bomb. Okay, so that is the reason we are calling it as Shanti Bill, in order to make sure that, in order to send a message to the world that we will be using and harnessing the nuclear energy only for the purpose of what? Civilian use. Okay, so in this particular bill, the most important areas of focus were, okay, ending government monopoly. Okay, ending government monopoly. You might be aware of this fact that there are a few sectors are there which are still under the control of government, which is like railways, and you also have what? Atomic energy, and you also have another one is what? Space has been majorly, it has been privatized in many of the areas like launch vehicles, and you can say that in the technological development, etc., so and so forth. But atomic energy, which deals with nuclear, it was still under what? Government monopoly. Railway still a government monopoly. We do not have Ambani trains, we do not have Adani trains. Okay, so in this bill, government want to end monopoly. When government want to end monopoly, you can understand that government want the private sector participation. Because we generally have very less number of nuclear reactor. We have Kunakulam is there, we have Kovada is there in AP, then we have in Gujarat is there, Kalpakam is there, Kaiga is there, okay, Kakrapar is there, Narora in UP is there. So we have very less reactors, and the pace of development of the reactors are also very less. But the growing demand of energy is continuously increasing, and more urbanization will lead to what? More energy consumption. So in order to satisfy all of this, it is very important that we have to start, actually we have to start the development of nuclear energy at the very faster phase. For that purpose, you require what? A capital intensive capital. It's a capital intensive industry, lot of amount of money is required. That's why private sector is going to play important role with regard to what? Atomic energy development in our country. However, the key important strategic areas will be under the control of what? Government only. So right, under this Shanti bill, so basically government want to end its monopoly, want to give a push to private sector participation, A regulatory board will be created. Obviously, when the private sector is there, regulation is required. If the government sector is there, government will only regulate by itself. As because privatization is envisaged here, so regulatory board will be there. When regulations are not happening and when there is a dispute between business to government, then obviously we want a redressal mechanism. You know, be aware of this fight. Then corporate social responsibility is also envisaged in this particular bill. Accountability is also ensured in this particular bill. Okay, and climate related aspects are also there in this bill, because whatever the nuclear energy production is there, it also emits lots of it releases lot of radioactive elements, radioactive residues into the environment. So safe disposal is also important. So basically the Shanti bill is not directly related to us. It is a administrative overall change the government like to bring in with regard to this Shanti bill. Let us go ahead and discuss the salient features of this bill according to whatever is presented in the Lok Sabha. Right, you can clearly see is that the bill aims to modernize India's nuclear energy framework. Modernize is nothing but however, the new public-private partnerships are there, the private investments, etc. So that is only called as, instead of being socialistic economy, we are moving towards what? Capitalism sector with regard to nuclear energy. So government aims to modernize India's nuclear energy framework, enhance private sector participation, and national energy security. That's what I told you in my just 1 minute, just a discussion. Let us go ahead. Key features of this Shanti bill. Let us talk about it also. Key features of this Shanti bill: a regulatory overhaul, as I've already told you that the bill seeks to establish a autonomous nuclear energy regulatory authority, NERA. Private sector firms are allowed to build and operate nuclear plants, the second most important area. The third one is investment incentives. This bill offers economic incentives for the nuclear energy products. If Adani want to develop a nuclear energy products, so obviously the land acquisition cost, maybe the patent cost, maybe the operation cost, okay, all that will be waived off or will be given at the concessional rate. So fiscal incentives and financial incentives will be provided to those private sector enterprises who want to invest in what? Nuclear energy production. Okay. If you talk about the implications of this particular bill, the Shanti bill enhances India's energy security. This is one implication. It strengthens diplomatic leverage, means in future if the foreigners also invest here, so in that particular country where the foreigner belongs, we can better negotiate with them. Okay, diplomatic leverage can also happen and support strategic autonomy in the region. Okay, so whatever the strategic areas are there still under the control of government. That's why the strategic areas, okay, it will be under the control of government only. Implication for the private sector: private sector will get market entry in this particular nuclear energy, which they have not been getting for years and years. Okay, private firms can construct and operate nuclear power plants, attract incentives, boost investment confidence in the projects. Corporate social responsibility is also there. Companies are encouraged to support local community development whenever they are actually putting a nuclear power plant. It is, let's think that the Adani puts a nuclear power plant in Telangana. So wherever he puts the plant, in and around whatever the area is there, that particular area will be having infrastructure development. The people around that area will get employment. So complete local area development will happen. And to stay here, a lot of scientists are required, and scientists will come from different places. For them, real estate and the housing sector will also develop. Okay, so with the help of this privatization, you can see that a lot of local development is also possible. Clear. Let us go ahead. This is again very important objectives of the Shanti bill. You can see here. Okay. Strengthened internal peace and law enforcement coordination. Internal peace with regard to private sector participation, whatever the grievances are there, that will be solved. Law enforcement coordination, promote dialogue-based conflict resolutions in the sensitive regions like nuclear power energy, encourages socio-economic development in conflict-prone areas, enhance India's image as a stable democracy in global forums, create a framework for private sector participation in peace building and developmental initiatives. These are some of the qualitative objectives you have tried in the examination. You cannot help it out. Now if you talk about the key features of the bill, as I've already told you that National Peace and Reconciliation Council will be established, a statutory body to mediate internal disputes and promote inter-community harmony. Peace development zones will be there. community dialogue framework will be there, private sector partnership model will be there, security and development integration will be there, monitoring and evaluation mechanism. That's how the government will keep the regulatory framework upon the private sector and with this particular bill. Now, if you see here, this is a very important. What private sector will get through this bill? Investment opportunities. We have already discussed that they will be allowed to invest in the nuclear energy production. Then CSR expansion encourages company to invest in community development and rehabilitation projects. So wherever they are developing the project, around it they can take the community development, that will be counted as CSR. Wherever these projects will come, obviously infrastructure growth, logistics, renewable energy sectors will also come in. Employment generation will happen around that particular area. Public-private partnership will get strengthened, which has been lagged over a period of time. So these are some of the important areas of Shanti Bill. I hope this is all clear to you. I can remind you again that this particular bill is basically about to restructure the framework of production. Basically, we want private sector to come in order to provide us energy security, and we want to fast rapid increase of energy production we want in order to meet our Viksit Bharat goal of 2047. Okay, and also to provide 24/7 electricity. We really want to pump up this nuclear energy production, which is also one of the important ingredient of decrease the global warming and climate change impact, and also to achieve our Panchamitras that we have promised in the Glasgow summit of 2021 in UNFCCC summit. Okay, I hope this is all clear to you. What is your opinion? This bill is not about putting a bomb on Pakistan, etc., so and so forth. It is nothing but an internal restructuring of this particular sector, now opening up this sector to the private players, giving them incentives, giving them counting this as CSR, so that they can develop the local community over there where the project is there. It's all about internal restructuring of the nuclear power sector in our country, which is basically managed by NPCIL, National Power Corporation of India Limited. Okay, I hope this is all clear to you. Take care.